Hey guys, I hope you're having a great Friday. And wow, I'm just hearing my voice and thinking, gosh, it's husky compared to normal. Anyway, perfect rain here. I hope you guys are getting some rain wherever you are. It's lovely to experience, obviously, the nourishment and the fulfillment of that. But jumping into today's topic, and we're talking about burnout. This is so essential. And often I have clients that come to me and they've been very negative or very critical of themselves, and they think that something's actually wrong with them, or that it's something that they're not being able to succeed in, or they're not feeling motivated around, and often they're experiencing a lot of signs of burnout here. Hey Amy, great to have you on, honey. And this affects so many areas of life. This means you're not going to have the passion or the energy for your relationship. You're probably fighting with your partner or your kids. Probably really impatient with your kids. You've lost the joy or the fulfillment that gives you the joy and the juice of life. We can often feel very robotic, very ticking off the to-do list, a lot of rigidity and a lot of acidity in the body, which means that there'll be signs of inflammation. This means sore necks, sore back, sore knees, sore joints, stomach issues, digestive issues, lack of energy, fatigue, stress, all of these signs and symptoms. Perhaps you're feeling unable to lose weight no matter how much you're exercising. Hey Kate, great to have you on, and I'm having trouble. I'm going to have to put on my glasses again. That's so funny. Hey Kate as well. So it's great to have you guys on here. So definitely, and please say hi if you're just jumping on. If you've got any questions about this, absolutely, please jump in and ask me. This is something that I've personally experienced quite a few times myself, and often take myself right to the very cusp or the very edge of it. It's something I studied a lot in with kinesiology as well, and over 80 to 90% of my clients would come in with adrenal issues. Now, adrenals are what suffer the most in burnout. So 5 clear signs or symptoms that you will notice if you are experiencing burnout. Hey Luke, great to have you on. Is number 1, lack of energy. You may feel like you can't get out of bed, or feel less motivated, or feel like you want to be able to jump out of bed and feel excited about the day, but you go to put the foot down and there's just nothing there. It's like getting in your car and pressing the accelerator and just feeling really flat, and wondering what the hell's wrong with you. And it's shocking. And burnout is one of those things that can be very, very subtle. It's kind of like a frog being put into cold water, and the water just heating up slowly. And it's not until we hit boiling point where, suddenly you get up and you go to do something and just bang, it's like literally being hit by a truck. Not fun at all. Hey Carmen, hey Katie, great to have you guys on. So number 1 is lack of energy, guys. If you are lacking in energy, if you feel like, where you used to be quite motivated, or you used to feel quite inspired, you guys know, I often talk about motivation as well, because it comes from that push energy, and this is a lot of what causes burnout. It's the perfectionism, it's the A-type performer or the A-type achiever of got to do more, got to be more. It's the feeling not enough. It's trying to please everybody. It's not saying no to people. It's all of those things which add to those feelings of burnout, apathy, anxiety, depression. So number 2 is really like these feelings of anxiousness and feelings of depression. And I see, and I don't want to go too much into this, but I do see what I would kind of deem in my own personal experience, and I've certainly been in that pathway before, where being offered any anxiety or any depressant medication, when actually what I was actually moving through was just super high stress, super high grief, and very normal feelings as a human of what I was actually experiencing at the time, and coupled with long-term chronic stress. And this is another thing that actually causes burnout. It's either long-term chronic stress, so being in a really toxic or really unhealthy relationship. It might be chronic financial stress for a long period of time. But it's just, it's a constant, it mightn't be like super acute stress or high level stress all the time, but it's the chronic stuff that's kind of happening. It's like antelope's being chased by the tiger, but the antelope keeps running and running and running and running and running, and forgetting to actually stop and pause and know that it's safe and know that it's okay. Hey Yacinda, it's great to have you on as well. And so often we experience these feelings of anxiety and depression as well. We feel a lack of apathy or a lack of ability to be able to have the energy to put towards our goals or our greatest ambitions and dreams, and therefore feel this lack of apathy, feel this apathy or lack of ability to be able to move forward on what's most important to us, and start to become quite disconnected. I remember at one point in my life when I was experiencing this, and I said to my coach at the time, I said, the ship's sinking and I actually don't care, and that scared the hell out of me. It was like, normally I'd be like, oh, I need to fix the ship, I need to sort something out, but it was like I had the white flag up and I was just like, I'm going down with this sucker, and that's how it really felt. And I just felt like I didn't actually have the energy to even be able to solve whatever was going on for me or what was causing it. Hey Ashley, great to have you on. Hey Christine, lovely to see you on here as well. So anxiousness, high levels of anxiousness, and this can also occur from number 2 level, which is really, or the number 2 sign, which is reaching for stimulants, reaching for sugar, reaching for high fat foods, reaching for carbohydrates, reaching for anything that you think is going to get quick fuel or energy into your system. It's kind of like dirty energy, and I don't like to call any foods good, bad, right, wrong, dirty, clean, like any of that, but it's really, it's fuel for the body that is going to set you up to crash again and therefore reach. And so we end up spending all day going through these spikes of energy which just totally wreck your nervous system at the end of it. So really super critical to kind of get on top of those things. Obviously high caffeine, alcohol, any of those things, you might be living on caffeine all day, and then to try and bring you down, you're drinking alcohol of a night time. Guys, that is going to set you up for absolute burnout for sure. Social withdrawal, number 3, is another clear sign where it's like where you used to feel like having fun or going out with your friends, you notice yourself withdrawing. And this is the body's attempt at survival, basically. So it's trying to pull itself it's like a wounded animal that just needs to sit and to rest and to take care of itself. But if you're beating up on yourself in that, and that can be another thing which is really difficult, and it's kind of like my number 5 point, which is the anxiousness or the depressive type tendencies, where it's really hard to think positive. And I know when I am physically fatigued, guys, my inner critic runs rampant. And often this is because if you think of the ego survival mind, it's there to protect us. And again, it's like the wounded animal. It becomes hyper vigilant in its environment. So it's looking at what's going wrong, what could hurt it, what could harm it. It's trying to figure it all out because it knows that it has a lack of ability to be able to move fast or to escape from danger if it should present itself. So we become even more hyper vigilant, and that's where that inner critic or that inner voice kind of kicks in and is kind of like, your super villain. And it's in essence, like its in deeper intention is to move you to get back to where you're actually wanting to be and to feel good about life. But it does it in a way that kind of, is beating ourselves up, making ourselves feel bad. It's very difficult to think positively or to feel really good about yourself when you're experiencing these signs and symptoms of burnout. And the lack of physical energy really is difficult as well. And the two go kind of hand in hand. If you're lacking physical energy, it'll be difficult to remain emotionally resilient and mentally resilient. And again, if you're beating up on yourself, you're feeling emotionally like crap, that's going to pull your physical energy back down as well. Hey Haley, great to have you on here as well. So we've got lack of energy as our number 1 sign. Number 2, reaching for stimulants. So fats, high fat foods, sugar, chocolate, stuff like that, caffeine, alcohol. 3, social withdrawal. So not making time for friends or just feeling like I just don't want to go out. Like there's a very clear difference between going, it's going to be really supportive for me to stay home tonight, or, I'm just going to take this time out for myself. That's very different to going, I just can't be bothered doing anything, and it's kind of like can't get off the lounge type energy. Hey Zach, great to have you on. So, and that leads to the fourth symptom, or clear sign, is lack of motivation. So you'll be like, I just should be doing more. I should be getting this done. And I'm procrastinating. And I'm just like, and some of that can be fear. Sometimes, if you're building a business or you're working on a different area or getting outside of your comfort zone and things like that, absolutely, it can be a bit of resistance around fear. But a lot of the time, it's actually because you're physically exhausted and you haven't taken either proper care of your body or mentally, emotionally. So those three things, your mental and emotional and your physical body, and also I would add in there your spiritual self, which is really your connection to self, or your self-love, or how you're feeling about yourself, or being able to know that life's got your back, that life is kind, that it's there to help you. If those four things aren't in place in a healthy way, then absolutely you're going to be experiencing these signs of burnout as well. So we've got lack of motivation. So things that you used to be excited about, things that you used to be able to handle easily, perhaps you're feeling really overwhelmed. Perhaps little things set you off or really stress you out. I know in some of my kind of real like maximum adrenal fatigue kind of stages, like I had high levels of digestive issues. I had high levels of candida overgrowth in my body, and that adds a lot of toxins and a lot of acid to the body, but also drains your energy. It's very fatiguing and is like a alcohol kind of hit, simply because of the breakdown process and the process around candida as well. So a lot of people actually, when they read signs and symptoms of candida, it actually relates a lot to these burnout signs as well. But adrenal fatigue is really what's at the cause of all of this, and adrenal fatigue comes from that pushing ourselves for so long or so hard. So having that long-term stress, and that might be like low-level stress, or it could be that you've had a surgery, it could be you've lost a loved one, it could be that you're going through financial stress or pressure, either personally or in your business. It could be that you're having really difficult relationship issues, or breakdowns within your family or things like that. And it only takes like, particularly if somebody's been in low-level chronic stress for a long time, and then have one or two acute things happen which create acute stress in their life, it's going to knock you for a six, guys. And I'm going to give you some really cool things that you can do immediately to take great care of yourself. Hey Rod, great to have you on here. But lastly, like the last sign, clear sign or symptom that you could be experiencing burnout is feelings of anxiousness or feelings of depression. And sometimes those two go hand in hand, or sometimes you might be experiencing more anxiety than depression. Now, drinking lots of coffee is anxiety producing within itself as well. So if you're feeling that burnout, but then drinking lots of stimulants, maybe you're going for energy drinks like Mother or V, or I forget, like I honestly, like I just don't look at any of the soft drinks in that these days. So but if you're reaching for any of those stimulant type things, or even copious amounts of black tea, again, it's the reaching for the stimulants, but having too much caffeine in your system is going to be anxiety producing anyway. The depressive symptoms come from feeling super powerless to be able to change your life, feeling you haven't got the energy to change this for yourself. So a couple of really just get on track things, and this is a long-term solution, guys. This is not a quick fix. I've been through adrenal burnout quite severely, and another very clear sign or symptom is brain fog. So if you're waking up in the morning and you just feel like there's cotton wool in your head is the best way to explain it, I think, or your head just feels cloudy, that is a very, very clear sign that something is going on. You've either got neurotoxicity, it's like obviously having a hangover, where there's so much kind of toxins in your system, it's actually poisoning your blood, and then that's filtering through to your brain and brain connections and things like that. So your neurotransmitters don't work as well. Digestive symptoms really arise because when we're in that fight-flight stress response, basically, or that hypervigilance response, basically the digestive system's inhibited because, again, like if you're being chased by the tiger, your body does not care about digesting breakfast. It just wants to escape the tiger. But if you're living every single day as if you're being chased by a tiger and you're on the go all the time and you run, and it's the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, that is going to put a tremendous load on your body, and you may find yourself very tired but very wired as well. Now that hits, so that's kind of like the first phase of adrenal fatigue is being in a vigilant state. So you actually feel quite energized, but you know something's kind of a bit off. You're not feeling great within yourself, but it's like you've still got plenty of energy. Second phase is more around, you know, that energy is starting to taper off a bit. And then the third phase is complete adrenal exhaustion, which means like you get up one day and you're like go to go and there's nothing there. And that's a really scary place to be in, I can promise you, and particularly if you're self-employed, even more important. Hey Joe, great to have you on, and hey Denise, and hey beautiful Sandra. So what to do to get out of this, guys? A couple of simple but not always easy things to do. Get loads of water into you, right? Hydrating your system is one of the quickest and fastest ways to start to replenish your energy. Breathe deeply. Again, this oxygenates the system. It will make you feel less like reaching for stimulants, because again, the stimulants are going to set you up for that high and drop in your energy. And eat really good food. Now, all of these things are very common sense, but in the moment when you are desperate for energy, you're going to want to reach for those stimulants and things like that. And that's where we need to bring in this second tool, not only taking great care of the physical body, but also saying no to things that aren't a hell yes for you. Don't do things out of people pleasing or feeling like, oh, they're going to be pissed at me, or obligation, or, you know, feeling like you have to, you need to, or you should. If it is something that is not lighting your heart up or is not aligned for you, must say no at this point. Try and clear as much from your calendar to rest and rejuvenate. Basically, eating, sleeping, and resting is the fastest way out of here. And I know you may not feel like you can do that. I certainly, as a single mum running my own business, when I've been through some of these critical phases in my life quite a few years ago, found it very, very difficult to do that at the time, because my kids were depending on me emotionally and financially and, you know, physically for their physical needs. But also, you know, like I just felt like I couldn't stop because I was running a business, and so I would have been creating more financial stress and everything else. So it's a very fine balance. You just got to strip out whatever you can, and I know that may not be everything, but really taking care of the body is essential, because it's one of the main pieces. And then of course your inner talk. So if you notice that it is difficult to think or feel positive, really managing that inner critic, knowing it is just there because it loves you and it wants to keep you safe. So it's going to kick your butt. I have a pretty mean drill sergeant. She loves to come in and kick my butt at times, and get friendly with that aspect of yourself. Don't get pissed at them and don't get angry at them. That's just another aspect of your ego then that's trying to push that away, or, you know, making that wrong or making that bad within yourself. Embrace that inner critic and love her and say, thanks for showing up. Thanks for trying to help me, and I've got this. It's really important. The mindset piece around this, guys, is really, like, literally the main piece, because it's the mindset beliefs that actually drove you to get to this space where you weren't listening to your body, where you're being robotic in your decisions, where you were just trying to tick off your to-do list. Perhaps you disconnected from your heart, or you got hurt in some way, shape, or form. Maybe a friend let you down, family, or you know, a relationship breakdown. So you've shut your heart down, and you've disconnected from your emotions, and you're suppressing all of those emotions. That takes a lot of energy to suppress emotions. So actually starting to work on healing your emotions and healing your mindset. And this is why it's a long-term game. It's not a short-term fix, guys. There's no magic bullet for this one. Hey Rebecca, and hey Kelly, and hey beautiful Erica. And this is what I teach at my Soothe Your Soul retreat. It's literally helping you to move through and get the knowledge, understand what's actually going on for you mentally, emotionally, and physically, and getting you connected back to yourself again. Get you connected to your heart. Get you connected back to self-love. Because if you've been beating up on yourself for a lifetime, that is long-term chronic stress. It mightn't be high-level stress, but if you're telling yourself how bad you are and how you're not enough, or you're constantly failing, or looking at everything that's going wrong in your life all the time, you're in a very, very low vibrational state, and your body is going to resemble that, guys. So it's super important to jump on top of that. Things that can be really supportive, so supplements that really support the adrenals, is vitamin C. It's zinc, it's vitamin B, and it's magnesium. Now, I'm not going to go into all the reasons as to why those things are really important, but they are the four main things in taking great care of your adrenals. But the main things are rest. So take time out, try and get good quality sleep, turn, your screens off. Don't be scrolling in social media or on your phone over night time. That's going to stimulate the pineal gland and interrupt your sleep patterns even more. Making sure you're sleeping in the dark and have a great cooler air temperature. There's scientific studies to say we do sleep better if the temperature is a little bit cooler rather than a little bit warmer. If you are experiencing high levels of adrenal fatigue, chances are you may be experiencing super cold hands and feet. It's another sign of thyroid issues, which is interlinked with the HPA axis, which is your hypothalamus, which is the homeostasis. So it's the regulating kind of system for the body, and the pituitary gland and the adrenals. So all of those are constantly in feedback with each other, and they offer each other a feedback loop because they're responding to the stimulus in our environment. And that's where it's really important. If you're doing things out of people pleasing, you're doing things out of guilt, all of those things are sending high alert signals to your HPA axis and saying, hey, I'm not safe, hey, it's not okay, hey, I need approval from others. All of that, building a solid foundation of self-love through the way that you communicate with yourself is one of the quickest ways, again, of taking yourself from there. So number one, physical body. Take great care of your physical body, guys. Everything, like I don't need to run through these things, but if you're not doing those on a regular basis, you're going to be impacted by this. And long term, it makes a significant impact to your well-being and to your health. Cancer, inflammation, diabetes, osteoporosis, all of those things are a result of long-term inflammation in the body. Chronic stress, chronic burnout are literally creating more and more inflammation in your body every day. And then when we add in the stimulants like the sugar, the high fats, particularly if they're trans fats, are going to impact the health of your body, which just creates greater and greater inflammation, which creates a greater stress load on the body, making it hard to lose weight, all of those things. Good morning, Hope. Great to have you on here. So if you'd like some details, if you are resonating with this so much, if you'd like some details about the retreat that I'm running in end of April, it will be addressing all of these signs and symptoms, guys. Like it is literally, it's called Soothe Your Soul Health Retreat for a reason. It's about coming back to you, coming back to your heart, reconnecting with yourself again, and really understanding these four aspects of yourself: physical body, mental body, emotional body, as well as that connection to self. And really, really important to address these things. Like I said, it is not a quick fix, but I will give you tools and strategies and ways to overcome this. Particularly at the retreat, and the mindset work, your beliefs around I should be doing more, or I've got to be successful, or I've got to be at this particular level, or I've always got to get it right, or I need to do it perfectly. Like it's all of those beliefs that literally drive this underlying chronic stress, and particularly if you've got approval or got extra love or celebration or anything like that at a young age for being a high performer or successful, I can promise you it is going to be absolutely imperative that you deal with this mindset stuff, because it really, really does impact it at a deep level. And a lot of the time we're in these unconscious, subconscious programs that are driving us and running our life without us even having conscious awareness around it. I've dealt with this stuff for years and years and years. Like I said, I've been through this experience a couple of times myself, where literally like I would get up and I would sit there at the table and just stare at my blank page where I used to write my notes and just go, I just feel like I can't even function. And I can tell you it is bloody scary when you hit that point. And it's, like I said, not a quick fix, but there are very, very simple and clear steps that you can take to start to move towards better health, better well-being, and really, regenerate yourself over a 6 to 12 month period as well. Good morning, Fiona. Great to have you on. And hey, Tammy, great to have you on as well. So 5 signs. I'm just going to run through them super fast. Bless Amy. I'm so pleased that is helpful for you, because often, and God, I've had not only myself, but people that I love in my life very dearly, go through this experience, and they're like, what the hell's wrong with me? And they tend to beat up on themselves even more when they're in this space, because it's just like, oh, I'm just being lazy, or I'm just not good enough, or I'm just not organized enough, or I'm, there's something wrong with me. And then then that just perpetuates the whole bloody cycle. So when you can really understand, your physical body is actually really freaking exhausted, and how to best take care of that, as well as from the emotional, mental side, things really change. So your 5 biggest signs of burnout: number 1, lack of energy, can't get out of bed easily, or find it difficult to get up and feel excited or passionate about the day. Number 2, you're reaching for stimulants, guys. You're reaching for caffeine, you're reaching for sugar or high fat foods, and getting that stagnant or that quick fix, and then the drop again during the day. 3 is social withdrawal, no longer wanting to go out or spend time with people. You're just like, I just need to stay at home, which is different to self-love, which is, hey, I'm going to stay at home and really take care of myself. It's a feeling like you just don't want to be around anybody, and generally it's accompanied by feelings of shame, worthlessness, apathy, and not feeling good enough. 4, lack of motivation. So things that you used to enjoy in life, things that you used to be able to handle easily, suddenly you feel overwhelmed about. You find it difficult to deal with different stresses that never used to be an issue. Sometimes if I'm allowing my energy to get a bit low, I'll be like, man, I just don't even feel like I can get in and tidy up the kitchen or like get the laundry out. Do you know what I mean? Like it's all of those little things that you used to like be like totally in flow and productive and just be able to handle it, where suddenly these things will seem like insurmountable obstacles or very difficult to accomplish. And lastly, number 5, you'll be experiencing feelings or experiences of like anxiousness or depression, or depressive type tendencies, loads of inner critic, negative talk towards yourself, and again, this creates the spiral effect, impacts the physical energy. So reach out, guys, if this is what you're experiencing. Hey Helen, great to have you on. If you've just jumped on, you might want to go back and watch the start of this. Have a magnificent Friday and have a great weekend, guys. And if this is you, please seriously think about either reaching out. It doesn't matter whether it's me or anybody else, but somebody that can really help you when you've hit that super low point. Honestly, guys, like you really do need to reach out for help, and it is another kind of tendency of either high achievers or high performers or people that running their own businesses, is not actually reaching out for support or feeling embarrassed or feeling shameful that they have to ask for help. I should be able to handle this. No, if you've hit this point in your life, I can promise you, you will need guidance. You will need help moving from this, not only in your mindset, but also from the physical perspective of knowing, how much is too much and how to start to back this off. You'll need to learn how to set clear boundaries in life and how to say no in an elegant way that really sets up, your relationships, not to be living in anger and resentment, but to be coming from that place of truly supportive, aligned relationships, which feel great as well. Hey Ella, great to have you on, and hey Deanna, great to see you on here as well, guys. So loads of love to all of you. Like I said, this stuff is imperative you take care of it. 12 months from now, 5 years from now, if you have not dealt with this, if you are not seeking assistance around this, guys, it just gets worse. And I don't mean that in an awful or negative way. You've got to get this shit handled. It ruins relationships. It makes, business success absolutely impossible. Often people, can end up either bankrupt or, losing their business in place of this because they're juggling so many balls that they're dropping balls all over the place. It breaks down confidence. It breaks down self-love. It breaks down self-belief and the ability to be able to believe in your dreams or that you can get your dreams. It is so critical to get this handled. And going through that, a couple of times myself, I can assure you it feels like shit. And if you're in it, you know that. I don't need to tell you that. So loads of love. Hey Courtney, lovely to see you on here. My absolute pleasure, Erica. As always, it's a joy to have you on here as well, darling. So reach out to me, guys, if this is you, or if you want some more information about my Soothe Your Soul retreat. I'll pop the video below if I can put it in the comments section. My pleasure, Fiona. I love the synchronicity, darling. There's always those little signs and symptoms, or signs and synchronicities, which show up and are helping guide us as well. So like I said, make sure that you reach out, make sure that you get some help and support and assistance. Naturopaths are great. Wellness coaches are great. Make sure you're working with somebody around your mindset, because like I said, generally it's the mindset that has actually actually created this. And I know for me, you know, that was where I was at, and very much that A-type, you know, person, or the high performance, you know, got to keep pushing, got to keep going, can't stop for anything. And it's really what creates this underneath. And then there's several pieces of putting this together to really take yourself out of this long term, and to be able to maintain and sustain great vitality, great energy, great relationships, feeling awesome and freaking phenomenal in yourself, and you deserve that. So have an amazing weekend. Loads of love to you. Bye for now.